Good day, everyone, and welcome to Talk and Heal podcast. I'm your host, Ebreka Dume. Talk and Heal podcast is a podcast that we talk honestly and we heal intentionally. And joining me today on the podcast is wonderful, beautiful, and talented African women of the Foha Initiative, and that's Mrs. Pamela and Mrs. Christine. We're going to talk about a very important topic today, and that's the Foha Initiative, one of the most important and wonderful thing happening in our community today in South Korea. And the Foha Initiative is a platform dedicated to empowering African girls residing in Korea, as a platform that is aimed at creating opportunities, building confidence, and also providing support within the community. And today we're going to talk about the whole essence of the group, the creation, the vision, and as well as the challenges, as well as the future for the group. So talking about for her, we would like to, dive straight into the conversation and, get to know more about this group. And it's just right that we start with the CEO, the founder, the bearer of the whole, the whole concept of the group itself. And that's Miss. And welcome, Miss Pamela, and welcome, Christine. And thank you guys so much for honoring the invitation to be on the podcast, on Talk and Heal podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Brother Carl, for having us on board. And I hope that the conversation we are going to have today, you will learn from it, and you will get to know that their sisterhood, the sisters who have thought about you before you thought about yourself, so that whenever you come around them, you feel like you are in that place, the heaven. You feel like you're in a community away from home. So welcome aboard, everybody, and we hope that you enjoy our conversation today.
Thank you very much. That was a proper introduction. So dive into the conversation as well, and we're going to start. Normally we have to first of all talk to you, Mrs. Pamela, because normally you're the one with the concept and you brought an idea. Like, I want to ask, like, what was the inspiration? Like, what came to you before you had this, the idea of creating a group like this, and with also thinking of bringing African women together, and most especially Korean, as well as giving the name for her. Like, what came about all this, the idea and everything?
Oh, thank you again for having me. So just a little bit of introduction. My name is Pamela, but you can call me Ella. And we are all in South Korea. And I guess the initiative started from my experience, my own personal experience. I came to Korea at a young age. I was 17. Unfortunately for me, it was not like a rosy, come to Korea, go to Seoul, go to a big school. Yeah. It was totally different. From Incheon, the minute I landed from Incheon, there was somebody to pick me up, and they took me straight to a village. Yeah. Like, literally, you wake up, there's chickens outside, So you can just imagine, like, from home and straight to a village in Korea. So I did not have anybody. And even the school that I started at, there were Koreans there, but because it was in a country, countryside, not everybody spoke English. Hardly anybody spoke English. So for the first 6 months, I was just in my dormitory on my computer. No human interaction. And I felt alone, honestly. And I became so depressed. I did not know who to reach out to. The only friends I had were the friends back home, hence me spending most of my time on the computer. Yeah. Right. And so I craved that, human connection. I wanted to make friends. I wanted to make Korean friends, but, the language barrier, there was no way I could communicate. So I struggled for about 1.5 years until the first African enrolled in my school. Then I was able to at least say, I have a friend now. Yeah. And at that time, there was a professor. I will never forget her. Her name was Rebecca, but she was teaching at Sungmyung Women's University in Seoul. However, she would come to teach like a course or two at the school I was at. And she just reached out to me. She's like, hey, I'm trying to start this African Association. There's a bunch of other African students, but we're scattered all over. Can we get together and just start something? And I was like, wow, okay. At least now I can have some normalcy in terms of like connecting with people who are from home. Yes. So she one day, because a lot of African students at that time, they were in Seoul. So she had a field trip. And my school, yes, was in a country, but it was a beautiful school. So she had a field trip with her students and they came to my school. And that's when, for the first time in 1.5 years, I saw people who look like me, who are from Africa, in this country that I actually didn't even know about until I came here. And I felt so relieved. And I was like, oh, wow, actually, there are people out there. Now, the issue is to how to reach to them, like how to connect with them. But fast forward, I moved to Seoul and then, made some friends. And then, I grew up. But no matter how, you transition in this country, there's going to be that sense of loneliness. Right. And not only loneliness, but as a woman now, because for us who leave home when we're young, we lose almost touch with our mothers. Exactly. So you don't know who to talk to when it comes to women things and womanhood, sisterhood. So the women and the friends I and the circle that I created, I saw the need to be there for each other and create a community that supports each other because we're away from home. And the problems that we face are very unique. Because, Africans, where we come from, our experiences are different. Our background is very different. The challenges we have are not the same as the challenges that other nationalities have. So that's when I thought, oh, you know what? Let me create something that really brings in women, together. Let's support each other. Let's create a community where I know that I really have sisters in this country. So that's it. That's how the idea or the initial thought came about, just to have a place where I can say I belong, people who are like me, who have shared experiences, and just home away from home. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very great, wanting to reconnect with your roots, and also having your brothers from the same country, and not really the same country, but from the same continent, just to feel at home and stuff. It really is. I feel like it's something which we rarely have in Korea. Living back home, the miles and everything, and not really feeling your culture and stuff like that. I can, really relate to you, to what you went through. And going now to our next question, which bring us also to the point, like, why did you choose specifically just on African girls? Like, why was that your main base on, bringing African girls and, people of the same, race and everything together? Why that aspect? Yeah.
That's a good question. So as I mentioned, Africans, we have a very unique, experiences, and we have very unique sense of identity. In Korea, we are the minorities of the minorities. You have communities of Asians, the Filipinos, the Russians and everything. Yeah. But Africans, we are really the minority of the minority. And I feel like as Africans, I don't know if it's because of where we come from, we have a tendency of just, being timid and just to a level just want to shy away from the fact that we are from Africa because of what people think Africa is, even to this day, right? So I felt that, not only do I want to create a sisterhood of, with my African sisters, but then also why not create something that really has a profound impact on who we are and how we see ourselves. That was number one, right? To create a self of pride of where we come from. Being from Africa, it's not, a weakness, it's a superpower. Right. Yes. So that was one. Number two is visibility. You hardly, especially because of the unique space we find ourselves in, it's very hard to find what I can call like African mentors that are doing great things in great spaces. So you find that even though I'm a woman in Korea, I don't have another woman to look up to that has gotten to this level of success, a role model that I can mirror my life. You know, at least if she walked in these footsteps and I can walk in those footsteps, I also achieve greatness. We don't have that representation. So I felt, oh, you know what? Since I like this, let me be this. You know, so why not start something that I get women who are smart, who are intelligent, who are from Africa, that other women or young girls that are coming into Korea, you know, can see, oh, wow, Tina is doing this, Christine is doing this, Pamela is doing this. Let me also do that, because I know that's where I'm going to get to. So just creating visibility within the African communities. The third is, you know, just trying to prevent young women from making mistakes. You know, when I came, let me be candid, you know, let me be candid. When I came, there was that pressure of, you know, you are a young girl. And, you know, at that time also finding jobs in Korea was not easy. So there's temptation, you know, I'm not going to mention the country, but, you know, they look at you like, they look at you and like, oh, you know, I can take you to places. I can sponsor you. And I thank God, because I you know, I was born again at a younger age, so there's some things that already my mind was fixed on Christ. Right. So I could not, you know, follow that advice. Yeah, but there's some young women that come into this country because they don't know anybody. They don't know any other sisters. They fall into that trap.
Right.
And you find that their lives are wasted. So I wanted to be that source. Like when you come in, there's already a platform for you to join. Right. And women who can give you the knowledge, the information, the roadmap on how to get things done, how to get the job, which school to enroll in, what to do, the next step, so that you won't have to fall into that trap. Right. So those are the things that really motivated me to target the African child or the African girl. Woman. Yeah. So that is why I started this foundation. And Tina, maybe you can also tell me why you decided to jump on board and as an African woman, you know, African girl.
That is all right. It is very, very, I won't say it's a coincidence, but it's something that is in the heart of a woman to see another woman prosper, excel, and do something good, worth rewarding to the community. So when I spoke to Ella, and she told me what was in her heart, and it was the same thing. They always say like poles attract. All right. So before you meet somebody and want to talk to that person, it doesn't matter what it is, but there is always a connecting string connecting you people. So when I speak to Ella and she said this, it's not something like she was introducing me to, but it's something that I already have. But then she goes ahead and take the initiative to start. And so I say, why not? Why not jump on board? Because I already have the same interest, the same passion. So if we join hands and then we help each other, and of course I've been also in Korea. I came to Korea at, I think, 20 years old, very tender age. Those temptations, I faced them. And the pressure also. You're a young lady, you know, you can see this, you know, it doesn't, you know, so people look at you, and especially the other gender looks at you, and the first thing they think of is taking advantage of you. So how are we going to help other people, just like Ella have said, not to fall into the same trap? So I've been there, so I understand. I am rooted in the vision, and that is why it was not even, I did not even take a second before I tell Ella, let's do this. Let's do this, because I understand the same dynamics that all women go through the same thing. And even now as we speak, many are falling prey, but they don't know where to go. And it's not like they want. So we want to be out there. You're coming to Korea, you saw us on Facebook, Instagram, any page you saw us, come and look for us. We're going to have you, we're going to direct you, we're going to show you what to do. We will help you to make this your second home, because away from home, there is anxiety, there is depression, and many people are dying.
Right. That's true.
And also, we have to also just hold each other together. They already told us that we are the minority, but that is not true.
Yeah.
Africa is the best continent on the planet, the richest continent on the planet. And so even our women, if you educate one African woman, you're educating the entire society. So why won't you empower each other? So yes, I jump into the vision because it was something that was already resonating with who I am and what I stand for. So it is very, very easy for us to hold each other's hand and let's get them women. Let's get them. Right.
That sounds good. For some clarity to our viewers who will definitely be watching the podcast, we also need to make them to understand that For Her initiative is not just for Mrs. Ella and Christine. So how many people do you already have on board now, and from which different nationality you comprise, like the whole group itself for now?
So initially we had started with 6 women, but due to some reasons and we have challenges, of course. When you're starting and you just give birth to a baby, there is sicknesses. There's some times when there will be just fasting for no reason. And then there's sometimes the baby will be feeling fine and everybody will want to hold them. So For Her initiative is a new baby, we would say that. And even in our commencement, we still have challenges and we still had. So in the course of that, we lost one of us, but we are 5 strong, powerful, intelligent women in the group. And myself, I am a Kenyan, and Miss Pamela is from Rwanda. Okay. We have Mrs. Yudi Ebue from Cameroon, and we have Mrs. Lirato Rapanso from South Africa. And we used to have a Ghanaian lady, Miss Anita, representing us very, very well. And also another Rwandan beautiful young woman, Miss Bashiz. So we are all over. We are all over from all walks of life and all traditions. So what holds us together is the passion, the vision. What is holding us together is our journey as women, where we come from, because we all have the same experience rated down, or we can just say it is just a little bit. It take a little tweak, but it's the same thing. Right. So all of us, and also we are not limiting ourselves to only the nations that I've mentioned. Africa has 54. And we want to have every representative of every nation. So we are looking forward to you joining our platform.
That makes it, very, at least for the viewers to also understand, how the structure of the whole group itself. And the next question I was supposed to ask was definitely the core objective of the For Her initiative, but having you guys talk about it is very visible to understand what the aim of the object of the group is all about. So I'm going to jump into this next question, and it's going to be like, what kind of impact are you hoping to create in the life of the African girl in South Korea? Because also creating a safe space for them. What kind of impact do you want to create in their life? Like being an African in South Korea, what's the idea for everything? Yeah.
So in terms of impact, like you say, number one, safety, right? For me, I believe that, again, because of the uniqueness of where we find ourselves, there's not a lot of spaces or safe spaces that one can go. So I'm hoping that we can create a safe haven for the African woman, single, married, kids. And
when you talk about safe haven and safe, like, what are you actually, like, what is all about? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, that's a good question. So safe, that's that's good. So like she mentioned, like, women, we have very unique and vast experiences. So a safe haven is a place for women to vent, to talk, a place where you can be vulnerable and talk with your sisters and without judgment. And that there's an ear to listen and a hand to help. Okay. So I believe that sometimes, you feel like, honestly, you can even have people around you, but you feel like an island, because you feel like not a lot of people who are invested in you or even care to help. But that is the narrative that we want to change. We want to say, hey, you know what? We see you. We've been there. Depression, we know depression. Loneliness, we know loneliness. Singlehood, we've been single here in Korea. Some of us are married now. So in terms of marriage, we know what that feels like. Some of us have children. Also, having a child in Korea as an African is a whole other unique experience as well. And as a woman, because there's not a support system. So we are also saying that we understand that how that journey is as well. So we are here to help. And one thing I just want to say is that, For Her initiative is not just an organization just for the namesake. No, I want it to be a community where you know that if you have an issue and you pick up your phone and call me, I'm going to be there. Right. She's going to be there. So it transcends. It's a relationship, creating, relationships that go far beyond Korea. Once because we know we're all in transit in Korea. We're all in transit. Today we're here, going tomorrow. But we want to create long-lasting relationships, because most of us who have been away from home for almost 20 years, we don't have any relationships back home. Exactly. The relationships we have is here. Yes. So that, like I said, that safe haven that, you can drop off your kids to her, to me. That's something also, again, the culture here, we don't have that babysitting culture. You find that if it's not you with your kids, there's nobody, So let's create that trust circle where, I have Pamela, I have Christine. I know that push comes to shove, even my kids, last minute, I can drop them off and they'll be safe. So that is something that I really want to create, that impact, the space where you know that you are safe, which is very hard to come by in a foreign country. And with that also, in terms of mentorship and leadership, that is something I'm very, very passionate about. Our degrees are in leadership, and we are not just here to, to be women and talk about women business, which is good and fine, but we're here to also create leaders for tomorrow. I talked about visibility. So I'm hoping that, once we take off and we start training other women, we can all be leaders in various spaces that will also train other upcoming women. So empowerment, women empowerment, being the best self that you can be. That's the impact that I want us to have. But Tina, maybe you have something to add.
You say pretty much everything, because you haven't led until you have empowered. So for us is long lasting, to leave the legacy, and it's beyond borders, just the way you have said it. If we only do this for South Korea, what if I move from South Korea to another country tomorrow? So I want to live with For Her in my heart, and the impact that For Her left in my heart, and I want to continue that even in the place where I will be. So that is empowerment, and it is generational as well. If we train them today, they can train other people, and the girls who are coming at a younger age today can train their children and their children's children. So it is a movement, a generational movement. And I think there can never be better than that. Because if we die with For Her, then we haven't really done anything in the face of the earth. So the end goal is to transform this. And as we are transforming our lives, because as it is, we all are not where we want to be. But even at that, we still realize that we are somewhere that somebody can look up to us. So we want to reach out and hold a hand. And also, even in the process, we are also looking up to other people, and we want them to hold our hands. So it is kind of a chain. From reaching behind, hold somebody who is behind you, and then you reach out to somebody who is next to you and hold their hand. So this is what we want to do with the For Her initiative. Wow. And the ball will keep on rolling. And it doesn't matter which country you are in, beyond borders.
That's very nice, to get and to say I went through the profile of your group as well, and it shows you all are very educated and with a lot of PhD, that makes it nice. And also, in the course of conversation, I also wanted to throw a little more light, which I think you've done already. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about, I know there are other women initiatives and as well as women group and all around Korea, which that are also existing as well. And not in terms of comparison and everything, but what makes For Her initiative different from those other platforms? Because there are also platforms for women as well. What makes it different from other platforms, in terms of what you do and stuff?
Thank you for the question. So first of all, what makes us different? It's for Africans, right? There's actually there's other excellent groups. There's this group, the Global Women in Korea, which we are part of. Yeah. And there's another group, which is for American women in Korea, which are all excellent. And I think it was time for an African group as well. But like I touched on it a little bit. For us, it's just not an organization, and we have events and everything, and everybody goes home. But the connectivity and the relationship, it's a sisterhood. The 6 individuals that were mentioned here, it's not just collective women that came together and say, let's start this. We are sisters. And I think that's what the difference comes in, because the foundation and the intentionality is a bit different, because we are sisters and we want to extend our sisterhood to other African women. And we love each other. And that same love, we want to extend it to, not to say that other groups, they don't love each other, but it's not just the business aspect of it or the training, mentorship aspect of it, but we're genuinely sisters. And that is the sisterhood that we want to build, and just be inclusive and include everybody that comes in. So I think that is what, separates us from other women initiatives or women groups in Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I just want to ask for the record as well. And how long has the For Her initiative, since its existence? How long have this group been running? For how long now?
Oh, we about a year. So the initial, inception 2024, just coming together and saying, this is something that we can do. But we officially started last year. Yeah, we started last year, and we started amongst ourselves because, like I said, we want to just build a foundation. Let's get together. Let me see what makes you tick, what makes me tick. And we wanted to get to know each other first before we can even, introduce this baby to the world or to Korea. Right. So last year was more of internal organization, who does what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. And after we sorted that out, then this year we can say that we have officially opened the doors. Yeah, so give and take a year and some change, yes.
That's quite a long time, being the fact that you guys have, spend a year is enough time to get to understand and know each other and stuff. And now jumping to the next question is about the fact that, I wanted to talk about the activities that your group For Her has been doing and intend to do for the future in terms of incorporating African women as well. Give us a catalog of the whole group itself from the time of its inception and what is happening and what is in store for the group, and for the public as well to understand what For Her is all about. Along the while, I've missed this, all
right,
on the train and stuff.
So fast forward, when we started last year, we wanted to have that space. We met together, and then we were in a studio in a room like this, and we were just having hearty conversations, women to women talk. Okay. So we have that kind of thing that we do, but that is just for the connection part amongst ourselves, for the connectivity amongst ourselves. And then we said, okay, last year we already have that relationship, the intimate relationship between us. So why won't we just now open the door? So this year we prepared something called the Love Fest. That was in February. Yeah. Yes. And yes, that was our first event for the year. And it was very good. It is on marriage and people who are engaged to get married, or people who have intentions to get married. And we, through that space, we teach you what we know, because as we all have experiences. We are married women, we are mothers, we are wives, and also we have, if not the perfect experience, but we have a little bit of knowledge of what we can do. So we, in our marriage fest, we meet and we invited our panelists and people who really know what they are about in life to talk to us, because we have to expound our knowledge. Marriage is not a walk in the park. It is something that you really have to educate yourself on every single time. And so we think that if we have such a platform, then we are able to get the married people and also people who are engaged and people who have intention, just in case you're planning, you don't fall under the same trap or do the same mistakes, because there's a lot of mistakes out here, especially with the choosing the partners. So we incorporated that. Another event that is first coming in June is our children event. So the married people had fun and we ate and we had all what we can feed for the body and for the married. So we have people within these marriages, the little ones. So for her is an initiative that is only not focused on the older adults, but also the children, because it is so quite challenging for our children growing up in this society. So we want to create for them that environment where they can come together and realize that, oh, so we can still have the same fun we did or we left in Africa, or the same games. I'm a mother of 3, and my girl always tell me, I miss some games they used to play when they're back home. So for her initiative, organize this event so that the children can play and connect with each other. And also, as we are making the initiative for the adults, why not? They can come up with their own groups for the children. Right. So the vision is very big, and for us to meet and connect also our little generation, who knows, tomorrow we are gone and they will be the ones to lead. So we have to train them, just like Ella has said. We are training them for the next generation, transformation from this to the next. So also we have that event coming up. If you haven't registered, please do.
Something to add to what she said in terms of the activities that are coming up, as well as the ones that had happened before.
Yes. Oh, we still have a lot more in store. We have even
just run down for the whole program of the year, so we know it.
Oh yeah. So for the year, we have 4 major events this year. As she mentioned, we had the Love Fest, which was awesome. So we are planning to actually have Love Fest every year. Every year we get together,
Love Fest is just all about marriage and.
Yes, so Love Fest. So this year's theme was a love built to last. So every year we have different themes, and it's a space where married couples, as she mentioned, come together. You exchange, you do activities, you bond, you learn, unlearn all these things, because we have experts coming to speak to us. And then, as she mentioned, we have a children's event, which is awesome. Please bring your young ones around. And in September, we have a women's retreat. So husbands, if you want to spoil your woman, your girlfriend, your situationship, please, your situationship, come on. So we have a women's retreat where it's going to be like a 2-day getaway for the women.
We're getting away from them.
We're getting away. So, and then the women retreat is just, we get away, we share, we bond, almost like therapy activities. So that's going to be a 2-day event, maybe Friday night, and then we'll come back on Sunday. So around September. And then towards the end of the year, we'll have our first conference. And this conference will bring a lot of prominent women in Korea who are knowledgeable in different sectors, business sectors. And they're just going to be knowledge exchange. There's going to be networking as well. So like we mentioned, one of the things that we're passionate about is coaching and mentorship. And so we want to also connect some women who want to be in various spaces with women who are already in those spaces. So those are the things that we were looking forward to. But during the months also, we have volunteering. So sometimes we get together. We want to also give back to a country that's given us so much. Yeah. So we find different organizations that we can volunteer. Last year we did a KLC, it's Korean Legacy Kitchen. And it's a foundation that gives or provides food for the elderly. So we joined that organization and we cooked and we delivered the food to the elderly. Yeah. And also that's another thing that I really want like Africans to commit to and change, because unfortunately we are from a culture where it's take and we do not give.
Right.
So we want to change that. We want to say like, you know, it's also good that, you know, the host country sees us in a different light. Definitely. You know, because they're always under this impression, oh, Africans we like to take, you know. And even when you find yourself in a space, they want to give you. Yeah. So we want to say, no, you know, it's okay, you've given us a lot, so we want to give back. You know, so we're also planning to volunteer to orphanages, you know, go there and, you know, see the children, feed the children, clean the children. We are also, some of us are also English teachers as well. So we're thinking of also, you know, going to, you know, community centers and give free English lessons. So that is our own way of giving back to a country that has really given us so much. So we have volunteering programs. We have 4 special events throughout the year. So there's a lot of things that we're doing, and watch out the space. We'll be advertising everything on our socials. So if you see anything that piques your interest, please join.
Give this for the record as well. For the Love Fest, I was one of the panelists, and I had an amazing time, a time of learning, a time of, you know, sharing, and it was so huge for me personally. And I feel like it's an event which we need to have that, you know, more often in our community, because it brings, you know, in our community I don't want to use the word, we don't really know how to share ideas and, you know, stuff like that. And with such an event, it brings, you know, people together to, you know, for us to learn together. And I also want to ask you this question as well, like what's the plan for her, like in terms of the short-term plan and as well as the long-term plan? Like what do you intend to benefit or to gain for this short period of time as a group and, you know, and as a community that wants to be bigger in the future?
I think short-term is more of creating awareness of our group. Like you said, one of the challenges, I wouldn't say challenge, but then one of things that we want to change is the perspective, like African perspective or African mind. We are so stuck in doing things in one way. So that when an idea or initiative springs up, they are very slow to get on board. You know, like you said, the Love Fest, you know, a lot of people, they don't even see the need. Oh, why should we go and sit and talk about marriage? Yeah. Oh, children, what is Children's Day? We can just take our children to the park and they will run now. That is also, but honestly, you know, there's a reason why the Oibos are, you know, with their Oibos, you know, they like good things, they see good things, they do good things. And there's no reason why we cannot do the same, honestly, but, you know, put a little sprinkle of African to it. So yeah, just creating awareness and actually, you know, telling Africans, this is not a waste of time. It's not a waste of time, your time. It's not a waste of your money. Like, you know, broaden your horizon, honestly. And you have, you know, maximum, you know, experiences and fulfillment to your life. You know, you have to be very open. So for us, short term is just create awareness of our group and then get people on board to be sold, like to get on the vision and be sold the vision, and for us to just, you know, bring along a lot of our communities. Long term, honestly, like you mentioned, it's impact. You know, if one person can say, oh, my life has changed because of For Her initiative. I've been transformed. My mind has been transformed because of For Her initiative. The way I used to think about things has changed. My perspective has changed. Or I feel safe. I feel like I have a community. I feel like that is the long-lasting impact that we want to have. And obviously not restricted only to Korea, like Christine says. And now, you know, we are a global village. You know, you can do something here and, you know, it springs up all parts of the world, because I feel like our situation is not very unique. Everybody who is outside feels the same way we do. Those who are in Japan, China, we're thinking of starting actually to countries which are close to us. China, Japan, all these Asian countries that have African women. And actually my long-term, in terms of the programs that we have, in terms of LAFEST, like I want, like the next 5 years is going to be an international conference. So we actually want to maybe sponsor couples. You have to write to us and tell us why you need to be here physically. We can sponsor you, and then you come and join us for the LAFEST. And even the conferences that we're planning, we get international speakers to come. Women, actually, you've been seeing on their Instagram, why the operas, they come and speak to us. Why not? So we are going, places. So I just want it to be, but first and foremost, I want it to be something that everybody feels like it's mine. It's not Christine's, it's not Ella's, but it's my community, it's my home, it's my sisterhood. And then from there, we just, reach for the skies.
Let's say, and I just wanted to talk about this a little bit, like, in terms of, if you follow up in the conversation, we're more of not wanting to limit, the whole space in terms of us African, and as much as it's about African as well. But I want to ask you, you being the CEO and the founder of For Her, like, what are the expansion plan in terms of, is there any plan of expanding For Her bigger than what it is today in terms of getting out of Korea and maybe taking it to maybe Africa, also creating an awareness of the Africans who are in Africa and trying to bring them on board for this initiative and this group as well?
Yes, definitely. So what we want to do, for starters, we just want to do partnerships, because there are a lot of organizations, amazing women organizations back at home. So maybe doing some collaborations with them. That's a good question. Actually, long term also, we want For Her initiative to be a hub of information. So before you even come to Korea, maybe if you're researching on what is in Korea, and then For Her initiative pops up, and all the information in terms of what goes on in Korea is readily available for you. So not only do we want to do all these things, but information hub on everything about Korea, the lives in Korea and everything. There's also, again, amazing initiatives here also in Korea that we want to partner with women. So it might have been created by Africans for Africans. However, anybody who identifies with our story is more than welcome. Because I feel like there are some countries, not necessarily in Africa, but in Asia, when you sit down and speak to the woman next to you, we're actually not that different. We all, want to belong. We all want, we go through the same challenges. So it's honestly, we are saying that it's an African product, but not really, because if you really identify woman to woman, you're more than welcome to join. So that is one as well. It's not exclusively for Africans. Please, if you want to join, we are more than welcome. You are more than welcome. And in terms of expansion to other countries, like I said, neighboring countries, starting with Japan, China, Southeastern Asian countries as well. So, because actually the Southeastern, you guys are Africans, you just don't know it. So, so we just want to bring them on board as well. And so partnerships first. We want to partner with other women organizations, the UN, and we'll see where we take it from there.
I pray and I wish that you guys achieve those plans. And
definitely.
We almost running up with the conversation, and I also want to ask, like, with many people will be watching this video, and they'll be wandering around and be like, okay, how can we support the initiative? With everything you've said, it sounds so juicy and interesting in the ears of people, and they'll be like, how do we support For Her initiative, be it financially or maybe volunteering or maybe spreading awareness? Like, how can they get involved? Like, in what way can they really hop in on top, on this train and be like, okay, I want to help you? How can they get involved?
Tell a friend to tell a friend. First, create awareness. Okay, because now our biggest challenge is visibility. And also, when we invite you for these events, don't take it for granted or don't take it as something that is so casual. Just come. And then whatever you get from that will help you to refer for her initiative to your friends. And so the first thing that we would like you to do is just to create awareness and also be open to join us whenever we have these events. We will be sending out posters. We will be inviting people. So the very first thing you can do for us is to come, because through you coming to us, somebody else will see and will also join us. So creating awareness is the number one thing. Another thing is, because we are about women empowerment and also leadership training, if you have the expertise and you feel like, okay, this is something I can do for other people, then why not join for our initiative? Because we need your expertise in our team, because we are going to have young teenage girls and also boys. I'm not saying only for women. But whenever we have these groups, we also need an expert that will train them. So if you have that expertise and maybe you've gone through some training as well, we need you. We need you in the For Her initiative.
I also wanted to clarify something. The 6 women that were mentioned, they are the executive body. Okay. However, there are other women on board.
Oh, really?
Yes, okay. yes. So the 6 women are the executive body, but it's an open group, and we have other women who, for example, these events that we have, they are on board helping. Okay. Actually, we have to give credit where credit is due. For the Laugh Fest was actually an idea that came from a lady who's not in the executive committee, but she's a part of the group. Her name is Grace. So shout out to Grace. How can you join? Oh, we have like emails, socials, like Christine said, if you have any expertise and you feel like, oh, maybe, you just want to join to make friends, to get to know other women in Korea, just DM us or, reach out to our communications officer, Miss Lerato. Her phone number should be on there.
We have a handle that we can put out.
Yes, For Her _initiative. So we'll definitely put the handles there.
On Instagram?
Yes, on Instagram. On Twitter. We are on Facebook, all social medias.
And on all the platforms For Her initiative. Right?
Yes, For Her initiative. Okay. So please join. We are more than welcome to receive anybody if you want to join and make friends, because it's not all business. We have fun. We have brunches. We go out. We have picnics. So it's a good time. It's a good time. And summer is here. We're outside. So we're outside. So catch us outside. Yeah. So a lot of women are on board. We get together, we talk, we vent, we gossip, good gossip, and
we don't talk about it.
So it's an incredible platform. So please, if you are interested in joining us, just leave us a message and we will reach out to you. Yes.
That's nice. I want to say thank you very much for coming on board, and it's been a pleasure having the two of you, with so much you've spoken about, the initiative, and I feel like it's something that we need to also encourage our community to get on board, because it's a good venture and it's going to help us as a community, and we can't really go without, you actually saying something like, what last message do you want to put out there for those who will be watching you, most especially for the African ladies? Do I say African girls or African women?
The women, ladies.
African women watching you in South Korea, and they might be confused and they don't really have a space a safe space, as we say, to vent, to talk, and to share their experience and get ideas and solutions. Like, what last message do you have to give to them out there?
Wow, that's a good question. I'll just speak to them as though I was speaking to my younger self when I just got here. I'll just say you're loved. You are seen. You are special. You are unique, and God created you, and made it happen that you are in this space at this time for a good reason. So, despite the challenges that you're going through, there's a community that loves you. There are people that love you and want to support you. So never feel like you're alone, because you're not. And believe in yourself, and anything you put your mind to, whether in Korea, whether you're back home, wherever you are, do not underestimate your will, the power of your will, because anything you put your mind to, you can do it. I'm a testament of just going through the fire and rising. And if I can do it, so can you. The future is bright and the future awaits you. And honestly, because you are in this world, you have made the world a better place. And we love you. I love you. Yeah.
We got you. That is what I can tell you. Because we have walked through life, and as you see us here, we are not even perfect or even getting close to perfect. We have had mistakes. We have fell down countless times, risen again, fall, rise. But we just want to let you know that people like us still exist. It is not the end. If you hit a setback, you get back up and continue the journey. For Her Initiative is here for you. And you are not joining perfect sisters. We are just imperfect sisters ready to serve. And the intention of just serving you, and the reason why we are here to serve that purpose, is what will make us rise to those greater heights. Don't hesitate to join us. We love you all.
Well, thank you very much. And we've come to the end of our podcast. And this is Talk and Heal, where we talk, when we heal. And I just want to say